From the dawn of time, before mortal empires rose and fell, the Moirai spun the threads of destiny. Not even the mightiest gods could untangle their loom, binding every life to an unyielding pattern. In the ancient city of Thebes, a chilling prophecy descended upon King Laius and Queen Jocasta. The oracle of Delphi, her voice a cosmic echo, declared their son would one day murder his father and wed his own mother, a horror so profound it threatened to unravel the very fabric of their world. To defy this divine decree, they made a brutal choice. The infant, innocent of the cosmos's cruel intentions, was handed to a shepherd. His ankles were pinned, a mark of his intended doom, and he was ordered abandoned on a desolate mountainside. They believed they had outsmarted fate, casting the child into the wilderness to be devoured by beasts. But even in this savage act, the threads of destiny remained unbroken. The shepherd, moved by pity, could not bring himself to leave the child to die. Instead, he gave the infant to a fellow herdsman from Corinth. The second shepherd presented the wailing babe to his own king, Polybus, and queen, Merope, who were childless. They named him Oedipus, meaning swollen foot, a silent testament to the ancient cruelty. Oedipus grew into a strong, intelligent young man, believing Polybus and Merope were his true parents. He lived a life of privilege in Corinth, unaware of the shadow that loomed over his birth. One day at a feast, a drunken guest taunted him with whispers of his questionable parentage. The words, though dismissed as slurs, planted a seed of doubt that would fester in his heart. Disturbed, Oedipus journeyed to Delphi, seeking answers from the same oracle who had cursed his true parents. The Pythia's response was not about his birth, but a terrible echo of the old prophecy. He would kill his father and marry his mother. A wave of ice-cold dread washed over him. He loved Polybus and Merope. To spare them this horror, he made a desperate decision. Oedipus fled Corinth, determined to outrun the prophecy, to vanish into the wide world. His flight was an act of free will, a conscious rebellion against the cruel hand of fate. He headed towards Thebes, a path chosen randomly, or so he thought. At a narrow crossroads where three roads met, Oedipus encountered a chariot carrying a proud, imperious old man. A dispute over right-of-way escalated into a violent brawl. In a fit of rage, Oedipus struck down the old man and his guards, leaving them dead on the dusty road. He continued on, believing it an unfortunate, isolated incident. He had unknowingly slain his own father, King Laius. The first thread had tightened. Continuing his journey, Oedipus found Thebes under the terror of the Sphinx, a monstrous creature with the body of a lion, wings of an eagle, and the head of a woman. She guarded the city gates, devouring anyone who failed to answer her riddle. The people of Thebes offered their vacant throne and the hand of their widowed queen, Jocasta, to anyone who could defeat the monster. Oedipus, driven by courage and his sharp intellect, confronted the Sphinx. He solved her infamous riddle, breaking her curse. In despair, the Sphinx cast herself from a cliff, freeing Thebes from her tyranny. The city hailed Oedipus as a hero, their savior. True to their word, they crowned him king. The second thread pulled taut. He married Queen Jocasta, the woman who was, unknowingly to them both, his biological mother. For years, Oedipus ruled Thebes with wisdom and justice, bringing prosperity to the land. He and Jocasta had 4 children, believing they had finally found peace. Then, a terrible plague descended upon Thebes. The crops withered, the livestock died, and the people perished in droves. The city was gripped by an existential despair, a sign of divine wrath. Oedipus, ever the devoted king, sent his brother-in-law, Creon, to consult the oracle of Delphi. The prophecy returned. The plague was divine punishment for an unpunished crime. The murderer of King Laius still lived in Thebes. Oedipus vowed to find the killer, to purge his city of the defilement, unleashing a relentless investigation. He summoned Taitius, the blind prophet, renowned for his insight into the divine will. Taicius, seeing the horrifying truth, at first refused to speak. But under Oedipus's demanding insistence, the prophet finally revealed the devastating secret. You are the pollution of this land. You are the murderer you seek. Oedipus, blinded by his own righteous fury and self-belief, accused Tiresias and Creon of conspiracy. Jocasta, trying to soothe her husband, recounted the original prophecy given to Laius. She described her first husband's death at a crossroads by an unknown hand, fitting Oedipus's own earlier tale. A cold realization began to dawn on Oedipus, a horrifying possibility he couldn't ignore. He sent for the one surviving witness to Laius's murder, the old shepherd. The same shepherd who had been ordered to abandon him as an infant. The old man arrived, weary and fearful, forced to confirm every detail. He described Oedipus's original abandonment, his pinned ankles, and how he had given the infant to the Corinthian herdsman. The final thread snapped into place. The truth, stark and merciless, ripped through Oedipus's mind. He was the murderer. He was the husband of his mother. Jocasta, overwhelmed by the unspeakable horror, retreated to her chambers. She hanged herself, unable to live with the cosmic irony of her fate. Oedipus found her body, the ultimate proof of his undoing. In a fit of agonizing despair, he seized the golden brooches from her gown. With savage, desperate blows, he blinded himself, gouging out his own eyes. He had seen too much. He could not bear to look upon a world that had shown him such an unthinkable truth. Oedipus, the once proud king, now a sightless, broken man, begged for exile. He left Thebes, guided by his daughters, banished to wander, a living testament to the futility of human defiance against an ancient, indifferent cosmos. So we ask, can you truly outrun prophecy? Or do all your desperate acts, your flight and your fight, simply become the winding path that leads you inexorably to its predetermined end? Is free will an illusion or a painful instrument of fate itself? Perhaps the gods do not punish us for our hubris in trying to escape, but merely for daring to believe we could. And in that belief, we unknowingly weave our own tragic tapestry, stitch by agonizing stitch. After Oedipus Rex, the cosmic irony of outrunning your fate, what would you do first in that situation? Hit subscribe for more stories like this. If you enjoyed this, leave a like. Drop your thoughts and suggestions in the comments.